Hi guys, I hope you're all well, and welcome to the stewardship area of the farm here. I've just got Clover with me on this lovely evening here. We've got the oxeye daisies here just growing on this piece of stewardship, which I thought I'd show you guys. And it's a really important part of the farm, having the stewardship, because it provides the farm with a different type of income, and it's also an area of the farm which is benefiting the environment. And once a year I'll go through all of this with the Machio mower and the John Deere 6155R, and it's looking lovely at this time of the year, as I'm sure you guys can tell when we've got the flowers out. There's oxeye daisies, campion flowers, which are quite rare around here, and there's also dandelions and poppies in there as well, which you'll also see, as well as a lot of wild grasses. So you'll see later on this year I'll start tidying them up with the Machio, which I'm planning this year I'm putting on the front of the John Deere with the front linkage, which will be quite fun. And also, just on letterbox here, this is the bird cover which was drilled. And as I'm sure you guys will hopefully be able to tell, it has been a it has been a complete and utter failure. Just on this piece here, this was a piece of bird cover which was drilled by Jeffrey, and it's not looking too good at the moment. It is full of weeds, and I am a little bit disappointed. Hopefully you guys can just pick it up on camera, but unfortunately there is not very many of the wildflowers coming through, which was supposed to, and we've ended up with quite a few nettles and weeds in here. And that there is an old potato plant from the previous crop. So it's not ideal for this part of the field, which was supposed to go down to bird cover, but on the other hand the barley is looking really good just over there. The rain has done it so much good, and it's also done the sugar beet and all of the other crops on the farm so much good as well. Okay, so the other day we washed off the 135. As you can see now, she's dried off, and we've still got that bit of rust on there, which unfortunately is gotten quite deep. But if you just have a look around the engine, I was really surprised actually when this is dried off, now this is dried, how good a job the snow foam did of getting all of the grease off the engine. It's just a snow foam called Pro Clean, I believe. The guy who owns the company gives them to me for free, which is quite kind of him. But I just chuck the snow foam through the pressure washer, and it really does do a good job of keeping everything clean. So just in there's still a little bit of oil which I missed, just coming off the engine there. But other than that, it's looking pretty clean, and it's all ready now to be picked up. And elsewhere on the farm, just on the stackyard here, you can just see we've parked up the Johnson Brothers trailer just over there, so that's going to be taken off. It was supposed to be taken off this week, the stock box, so we can start casting some silage. There's the last few silage bales which are remaining, so we haven't got very many of them. And then also this is the Richard Weston trailer. For those of you guys who remember when we do some muck carting and jobs with her, she actually needs a bit of a clean, to be fair. And just here is a bit of mesh. Unfortunately I haven't got the grain option on this one to actually make it grain tight. It's also got a bit of water in there, so I'm going to have to jack this up this week and try and get that water out of there. There's also a bit of muck which I left in that corner, so that needs to come out. But it hasn't actually been a bad trailer, in all fairness. I do like the Richard Weston. It's probably one of my favourite trailer manufacturers. There is one little problem at the back here. This line here holds the rear lock-on, and as we were going out of the shed with the John Deere, it actually caught the wire there on a post, and unfortunately ripped it off. Now that was partly down to using the front loader to then take the trailer off, to then load it and then put the trailer back on, and then we had to go a different way round to take the muck out, and consequently that bit there got broken. So just another argument really as to why one machine isn't always better than two. And yeah, it's consequently, so we're going to have to get that fixed. All it is this wire here, which connects onto this hook, and then that little tiny hook bit there is just going to have to be welded on. So it's not the end of the world, but it is a welding job which needs to be done nonetheless, and my welder's broken, so I'm going to have to ask a local mechanic to try and get it fixed, to try and weld it up. But other than that, I think it's in pretty good nick. It needs the bearings just checking, and it needs servicing. And it's on the hydraulic brakes, it's not on air brakes, but it does the job for us, you know, and that's the thing, you know. If it does the job, why sell it, why get a new one? You know, I was kind of hoping to maybe refurbish it one day and to restore it to some sort of form of glory. I think the wheels could just do with a shot blast and a repaint, and then the actual body of the Richard Weston inside is pretty good, but it could probably do with a paint all around the outside as well. And then just next door to the Richard Weston, this is the bale spike which we used to have for the JCB, and as you can see, we had some front loader brackets welded on, but it's got the JCB ones left on should we ever go back to a JCB. There is a little baby JCB I've had my eye on for a while. Since this whole epidemic, since this whole lockdown, and since we lost quite a lot of the farm's income, there has been a little baby one which I've had my eye on, which is the JCB 525, which is pretty cool. For those of you guys who don't know about it, it's a 2.5 ton lifting JCB telehandler with a 6 metre reach. I think it's the JCB 525 60 Agri. Go and look it up on Google, you guys, for anyone who hasn't seen it. It's a really cool little it's a really cool little handler. I'd love to try one out with JCB and put it through its paces on the farm, because it's pretty compact, it's pretty small, so it can get into the sheds, it can get into those tight spaces, and it's also relatively affordable. It's not extortionate money. You know, a lot of these telehandlers now, you're looking at sort of 70, 80, 90, 100 grand for these 3.5 ton, 4 ton lift telehandlers, and it's just like, you know, I'd rather have a little baby one which is half the price and will still do the same job. It might take a little bit longer to do the job, yeah, but if it does the job, that's the most important thing. And there's some of the wood as well for the biomass project, but the new biomass business for selling wood chip to other farmers. There's the bales, which actually we bought in from a farm next door. We got them delivered from the farming neighbour because we didn't have enough bales ourselves. And then that's the bucket there, the chain harrows. And this is my big old scrap pile here, which I need to tidy up this week. So we've got all sorts of things in here. We've got old cattle rings, old steel girders from the old sheds, gates, bits of wire, the old scraper there, look, off the old 434, it was completely rotted out actually, and to be fair, it does actually belong on the scrap pile because, yeah, she's seen better days. I know some of you guys will say, oh, you should fix it, but trust me guys, she's gone. It's not worth doing. But I might still cut the A-frame off it and maybe use it as an attachment for when the 135 comes back. Maybe I could make a transport box or something like that. I'm quite lucky that Fleming helped me out with some deals sometimes on attachments, so it might be that I just buy a little transport box for the 135 and it comes back. I'm not too sure yet, I don't know. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But going back to the scrap, there's a good amount here. I've got a friend who often picks it up when the time is right, and we can sell it off the farm, which is quite nice, and normally just load it up with the telehandler, but this time I'll probably have to ask him to bring a crane, or maybe we can use the front loader to load some of it up, I don't know. But yeah, it needs to be gotten rid of. So I've really been thinking about the baby JCB. Some of you guys had commented about it in the past, and this week I've been thinking about it quite a bit, the 525. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Maybe PEX can help me out, maybe JCB can help me out. We'll just have to go from there. I'm just walking through the sugar beet now actually on this lovely evening. It's really changed over this last week. If you just have a look over there from that side to the top of the field, you can hopefully see just how consistent the crop's looking and how much it's improved. We've got so much more foliage now, and also I'm starting to see in places some of the bulbs erupting out of the soil. So there you go, there's one which has come out, but it's also, this one, been eaten by something, and I'm imagining that's either some little mice who have eaten that, or it's potentially some hares who have gone into that. I would imagine it's probably hares, but it is nice to see. You can just see we've got the bulbs just coming out again there. It's amazing how quick the sugar beet begins to grow, the actual root and the leaves as well, as we get a lot of rain and we get some nice sunshine as well. So this weekend I've been working on some merchandise designs for the Massey Ferguson 135. I'm going to put some of the designs, the top 3 which I've made, and I'm going to put them on my Instagram stories, and you guys can vote for what you think is the best design, and then the top voted design will then become the new piece of merchandise. Something else as well which is quite exciting with the channel is I'm going to be launching something next week. It's a new system called memberships. So you guys could become a member of Olly's Farm on the YouTube channel, and there would be a community page for the Olly's Farm for all of you guys who really enjoy the channel and who really enjoy the content. And as part of being a member, you'll be able to receive some benefits, which I'm going to come up with later on this week. So drop me a comment in the comment section below if you think memberships would be a good idea for Olly's Farm. I think it would be a great idea for those of you guys who enjoy the content and would like to be able to give something back to the channel. You'll be able to have some badges in the comments, so you'll be able to be identified as an Olly's Farm member, if that makes sense. So it's quite exciting. So if you think it's a good idea, just drop me a comment in the comments below about that, It would really help the channel out, and it would also help the farm out. And as a lot of you guys know, all of the money from Olly's farm which is generated goes back into the farm. So the more members which we can accumulate, potentially in the future, I would then be able to invest it in the shorthorns, the baby JCB telehandler for example, and also some new sheds, which is the biggest one, for the animals, which would be a really lovely thing to be able to do. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. There's Winnie just behind me here. Hopefully Winnie will come over and say hello to us. Here we go. Hey Winnie. So Winnie's a miniature Shetland on the farm, for you, those of you guys who didn't know. And then Winnie's also got a boyfriend who's just down there at the bottom of the field. So keep an eye out for some upcoming content this week. We've got the weed wiper coming. The 135 is going away for its restoration. The 155 is going away for a service. And then also as well, we've got the memberships which will be launching next week, which will be quite exciting. So leave me a comment about that. So from Winnie and I this evening, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.